Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Cricklefield Stadium. We're back at home again, as we always seem to be these days. This time, the FA Vase rolls back into town as we face Benfleet FC in the second qualifying round of the FA Vase here at Cricklefields today. Ilford come into this game off the back of a loss in midweek over against Southend Manor, where goals from Yemi Adalani and Freddie Adjumang weren't enough, as they succumbed to a 3-2 defeat, making it 2 defeats from 2, the 5-2 defeat here against Hoddesdon Town, and the 3-2 defeat away to Southend Manor. Benfleet come into this game having not lost in the league all season. As we start with the lineup today, we got Josh Blackburn in goal, and all change back forwards: Steve Sylvester Ajuja, Opie Masuro, Abdullah Sarr, new signing, and David Brookman coming in, with Jeffrey Cobbler and Bailey Hossack in centre defensive midfield, Lewis Carwan, Dimi Christou, Yemi Adalani, the front three, behind Freddie Adjumang, who leads the line today after his terrific display, it has to be said, for Ilford against Hoddesdon Town. He was the only bright spark in the game a couple of weeks ago. Scored once, probably could have had a few more, to be honest, probably could have helped himself to a hat-trick, as he'd probably be the first to tell you, he doesn't need me to tell you that. But he leads the line today, and all changed back four as well. New signing Abdullah Sarr coming in at the back, Steve Sylvester Ajuja, and David Brookman also coming in. Brookman coming in for his first start of the season as well, I believe. And Opie Masuro is in at the back as well for Ilford, as they look to shore up defensively after shipping 8 goals in their last 2 matches, as we will now get the thoughts of manager Adam Peake.
Obviously, as I've said, for the last few weeks we've been giving too many goals away defensively, mainly defensive mistakes, and we're conceding two too many. So we made a complete change in the back four today. One new addition that's come in, and then we just brought in Bailey Hossack's back in after not playing in midweek. Steve, the captain's back after a long layoff. He's only second game, and David's back in after being injured as well. So we're looking for a reaction defensively today. So we've made those changes. We've also made one enforced change. Mo Cargrove's not here today, so Freddie comes in, who's sort of come off the bench and showed some good positive stuff, and Jared comes into central midfield.
Obviously, we had a good result in the last round of the FA Vase. How important is this competition to us this season?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's from a club point of view, it's good financially, but it's not about that for us. It's about the winning games, about getting back to momentum after 2 bad results. So whether or not it's a cup game, a league game, it's important to get back into winning ways. We know today is going to be a tough game. They haven't lost this season, although they're a level below. It doesn't mean nothing to us. We'll show them the same level of respect. We know what sort of game we're in for, and we just need to make sure we do what we know we can do, and we make sure we compete in the right areas, and hopefully it'll go our way.
You spoke about momentum. Do you think there's any reason so far why we struggle to capsulate that? Can you put your finger on it at all?
It's very difficult always to put your finger on it, but when we analyse the games and the videos, we've been looking at just basic errors that are putting us in positions that we don't need to be in. We've given away 3 penalties in the last 2 games. We've given away silly goals, and we just haven't defended well enough as a unit. Most of the goals that we've conceded has come from our own problems, and when you're giving 2 or 3 goals away a game, it's always going to be difficult. So also we've struggled physically against the teams who are a bit more physical and put themselves about, and we spoke about that today. Football's not just about how you play, it's about how you compete, how much desire there is, whether or not you're going to go and compete with your individual man that you're up against. And we need the collective team to show a bit of toughness and resilience today when the opposition start to become physical. We need to match that and not think that we can not do that part of the game. So they're the key things we've spoke about, but when the boys cross the line, they've got to make sure that they do it.
And here we are kicking off at Cricklefields for this FA Vase second qualifying round tie against Benfleet FC. You heard manager Adam Peake there saying that momentum is needed for the squad after 2 pretty damaging defeats, it has to be said, for Ilford. The 5-2 defeat a couple of weeks ago, at home to Hoddesdon Town, and the 3-2 defeat to Southend Manor away from home in the week as well. an entirely new change back four, as I touched on and Adam Peake touched on earlier as well. The two fullbacks coming in after injury layoffs as they get in behind there and force Blackburn into an early save that he has to tip around the post as the corner is swung in. Blackburn seems to have lost it, and it is gone in, and Benfleet do take the lead. But I think it's going to be ruled out. The referee must have seen something there, as Benfleet seemed to be already running off celebrating, but even the Ilford players didn't seem to realise that one wasn't going to be ruled out. That one was going to be ruled out, as to Josh Blackburn's surprise, he has the ball handed back to him for a goal kick. Here, the young 17-year-old, he's been the mainstay in the goal in between the sticks for Ilford's in goal this season. And he had a pretty damaging game at home to Hoddesdon, as did most of the team, where they targeted him and put the ball onto him. But he seems to have recovered pretty well so far, as Ilford do make their first foray forward as the ball is cut into Adelani, who can't quite get his feet sorted out. The ball might make its way back to Lewis Kerwan, who does really well to retrieve that. Sylvester Ajuya skews his delivery into the box, and it can't find a man in blue and white. As Benfleet look to get this game back underway here, and their clearance is charged down by a first time by Lewis Kerwan. The second one's more up than away, and it goes up onto the head of Ajiman. Christou knocks it back to Sylvester Ajuja. There's surely got to be a foul there. That was a late tackle by the Benfleet number 3 there, catching Gerald Cobbler, as Christou looks to whip this free kick in as it's headed away. It's not headed away and sort of skewed back in at the far post, as Benfleet look to come forward again, as Sylvester Ajuja does really well to force him off. What a save by Josh Blackburn. That's a simply stunning save to deny that effort from flying into the top corner. He got across, sprung really well, leapt up and got a hand to it. And the Ilford defence there were all over the place. They just let him come inside far too easily. Sylvester Ajuja thought he got rid of the danger, and he might have to do some defending again here as he takes it away from the number 8 there. That's better from the Ilford fullback. And he might have a ball on down the line here to Lewis Kerwan, who picks up another ball to Ajiman, who goes back into the middle on. That is unlucky. Ilford had a couple of players steaming in there, and they couldn't quite put the toe on it to get it towards the target and trouble the man in the Benfleet goal today, as the visitors hook the ball forward again down their left, Ilford's right-hand side, as there is a bit of a coming together between Bailey Hossack and the Benfleet number 9, who didn't take very kindly to that challenge from Hossack and had something to say about it. As Hossack and the number 9 are now being called over by the referee to sort out their differences, you have to say, as Benfleet do line up their first free kick of the day here. The number 8 is getting in position, sort of similar to just a bit further out to the position that Long Melford scored a goal from here against Ilford in the first round of this competition a month or so back, just under a month ago. And Benfleet will be looking to cause problems again for Ilford from set pieces, which tend to have been their Achilles heel this season. And Benfleet, I'm sure, will know that, and will be looking to exploit that as best they can. As the number 8 lines the ball up there, all bar one, every single Ilford player is back in their own half, and all bar one of them are in the defensive third here to try and keep this free kick out. And it is floated in, and Blackburn did come for it, and he's lost it, and it's in. And Benfleet take the lead. Free kick again conceded by Ilford. And again punished. Josh Blackburn did come out for it, couldn't get a hold of it. And it was stabbed home eventually by Benfleet. To go 1-0 up, the visitors. From the league below, they haven't lost in the league all season. Scored 8 goals last time out in their last game against Brimsdown. And the way they've started this game, they will now be smelling Ilford blood. And the Foxes are going to have to sort something out here. Because Benfleet are on top as they look to be in again. And there's a straight foot race between Hossack, the goalkeeper, and the Benfleet number 9. But the number 9 can't quite get a toe to it. As Ilford looks to play out from the back, and that was Abdoulaye Sarr, new signing. Recovered himself well after Opi Masuro was caught on the ball. And that's a really ball pass which Christou manages to retrieve. And that link up there between Ajimang and Adelani, not quite on the same wavelength that those two usually are on. As Benfleet look to gallop down the right here, and unfortunately for them, they cannot win the throw-in. And it is knocked away as Sylvester Ajuja throw on, and Ajimang's header, and he looks round as if to say, where is everybody? Afflicted on into a bit of an open space, there's nobody there. But Masuro picks it up now for Ilford, who knocks it down the line. Here's Adelani, who's out here on the left. He's looping cross, goes over the head of everybody, but it will be retrieved by Lewis Kerwan. And that's cynical, is what that is. Lewis Kerwan, he had the beating of his man there and just simply barged to the floor. The word cynical was invented for fouls like that, as the free kick is floated in, and that looked like it was probably getting closer than it actually ended up, to be honest. As Ilford fails control, and there could be a Benfleet counter on here, but that's superb play from Gerald Cobbler to win that back, and the ball has worked its way over here. And Ilford can't quite get the effort on target, headed back in by Sylvester Ajuja. And Benfleet must be able to get it away now, and they do. And it's going to be held up well by their number 8, who pops it off. And now their number 9 has picked up some vacated space, but Sylvester Ajuja does really well to win the ball back. Knocked back into the path of Christou. Now out wide to Adelani, but the linesman's flag stops that move. Pretty end-to-end period there. Ilford, Opi Masuro couldn't quite direct his effort goalward bound, and Sylvester Ajuja at the other end had to be alert defensively to stop the breakaway. And he's going to have to be alert defensively again here as a straight foot race, but I think he's committed a foul there. I think the linesman has called for a Benfleet free kick. Sylvester Ajuja was adjudged to have pulled his man back in the straight foot race. The ball bounced up and hit his back, Sylvester Ajuja, but was already all over the Benfleet front man, which allowed the linesman to give the foul and give Benfleet another chance to double their lead here. Scored from a free kick here this afternoon already. Hoddesdon Town scored from 2 set pieces in their game here a couple of weeks ago. Long Melford scored from a couple of set pieces here as the free kick is slammed into the wall, and they're going to get another go at it, headed away again. Brave defending there by Ilford for the defender to throw himself in the way of it. Lewis Kerwan flicks it away. But Benfleet are going to come back, and Sylvester Ajuja again. Proper captain's attitude that, and then he's set a move off to set Lewis Kerwan away down the wing, and their second touch has taken it away. Oh! And it's somehow cleared away off the line as Lewis Kerwan broke it. Sheer pace down the line. The second touch seemed to have taken it away, but a bit of hesitation from the goalkeeper. Saw him come out, and Lewis Kerwan stretched and got to the ball ahead of him, and just as it looked like it was going to bobble in the corner, some miraculous Benfleet defending got back to clear it off the line. And now they come forward looking for a second goal. as Ilford look to get away, and there's a full-blooded challenge there. And the referee has pulled it up for a free kick. He must have been watching the highlights too and seen how many free kicks we've conceded. Because I don't really think that was a free kick. It just seemed like a full-blooded 50-50 tackle. In my opinion there. But it's another free kick for Ilford to contend with here, and who are, off the basis of it, pretty deservedly looking at going into half time 1-0 down. Haven't really credited much apart from that Lewis Coleman surge down the wing that was miraculously cleared off the line by the Benfleet defender. And Benfleet have been full value for their lead, the Furlough Nunn side from the division below, as they will be looking at the fact they are 45 minutes away from replacing the first round proper of the FA Vase. And they could even go into half-time at 2 goals ahead now. With this surely going to be the last action of the half. As the free kick is whipped over the wall and over the bar.
Okay. It took us about 30 minutes to realise where the danger is with us, yeah? And the danger is when we move the ball at pace through the lines into the front three. First 10-20 minutes, we're just kicking everything straight down their throats again. All the things we spoke about in here. Then, when we started to play into feet, into Dimmy's feet, into the front three, we started to get some joy. And we started to get some joy down the right hand side, some left hand side, and you know, it's too late into the half. Yeah, you know, every time we've gone forward, we've got an attacking opportunity. Our final ball has been wasteful, really wasteful. Yeah. There's nothing special about them. They put themselves about and whatnot. But we have got to move the ball now with a bit of pace. Yeah, through the lines and getting the front three into the positions that we got in the last 10 minutes. In the last 10 minutes, we started to get some joy down the flanks and in through the middle. But in 45 minutes, we ain't tested the goalkeeper once. We ain't tested him. We should have scored at the end here. But you know, this game's there to be taken, boys. You've got to believe that, and now you've got to move the ball with some pace. You know, the first 20 minutes the ball's not sticking. It's too easy, and then we start to slowly come into the game. But just some wasteful passing. Like we're in a good area, and we can see that there's somebody available, but for whatever reason, it's just the quality of pass just ain't there. And then, as I said, the last 15 minutes, we started to come into our own and started to realise that we can get down at them at the back. We've got to stop putting the balls down the centre half and full-back throats. No point. It was just going to chew it up. Got to go down the sides like I did in that last 10-15 minutes.
Too many times the ball's come out to you, he's fucking nicked in front of you. Why? You've got to be brave. You ain't going past me. Okay? Just stand in front of him. The quality in the middle of the play, okay, is no good. It's got to be better. You've got to get into the game, do what you're good at. Do what you're good at. Get the ball moving. Get the ball moving. Get the ball moving. When the ball comes into you, I want you to hold it. I don't want to flick or just don't want to think, bang, hold it, or just hold it off, hold it. Runners in behind us, can we slip it, Even if it goes into him, he can then play the ball. Be smart with he runs, can he go on the outside instead of going on the inside? Even if you go on the inside, right, if he goes on the outside, where could you go? Outside. Go on the inside. If he goes on the outside, go on the inside. You've got to move them about. You've got to move the two centre-halves around. Okay? But the quality, no, it's not there. So we've just got to step the quality up. Okay? We've got to just step the awareness up. Don't be lazy, because that's what I think we're being. I think we're being a bit lazy. That's all I'm saying, a little bit lazy, a little bit more quality, a bit more boom, there it goes, into him. Okay? Yeah? Last couple of minutes there. Don't deal with it. It's got to go. Don't fucking be smart. Just deal with it. Stand your fucking ground. I will not tell you again. I am telling you now. You've cost us the goal. because you've tried to fucking nick it and you bundled him over. You've got to stand your ground, he's going nowhere. Stand him up, stand him up, stand him up, stand him up. Don't try and win it, just fucking stand up. You're on a yellow card, be brave, but be controlled. Okay?
And we kick the second half off here again at Cricklefield with Ilford looking to provide a reaction again coming into the second half. And as I'm sure the managers alluded to there at half time, the quality just wasn't there for Ilford, who are deservedly behind, and will hope that they can get a reaction in the second half. Just a quick reminder to everybody watching, this is a one-off knockout tie. If the game scores a level after 90 minutes, the game will go to a penalty shootout. There is no replay, no extra time. The game will go straight to spot kicks. And the winner of this will go through into Monday's draw for the first round proper of the Emirates FA Vase. A competition that offers not only prize money, but a route, a distraction from the league, and ultimately a route to Wembley on non-league finals day. And it's a very, very long way off now. But there is a place in the first round proper at stake, and both these teams will know that. Both these teams will know that they only get one chance in this competition, in this game. If it goes to penalties, it's anybody's game. It's a lottery. It's Ilford win the ball back and go for a throw-in, and the ball is looped into the far post, and there's the header. And it's a goal. And Yemi Adalani wheels away. And that is a brilliant header in at the far post there. He seemed relatively untracked from the delivery that come in from Sylvester Ajuja. There's a quick throw from Masuro to Ajuja. And he swung the ball around, whipped it around with plenty of pace. And if you look here, Adalani just steals away from his man. There's two over at that far post, and that is an excellent header to get it back across goal and into the small gap at the keeper's near post. It'll be disappointing to be beaten from there. But Ilford are back levelling. And it is Ilford 1, Benfleet 1. And my mistake, sorry, it was Gerald Cobbler. Gerard Cobbler with the cross, in a brilliant cross from Cobbler. There as Blackburn comes out to claim the ball, and there's a little bit of afters between the front man and himself there. But he looks to get Ilford onto the attack quickly as Benfleet deal with the first ball. Cobbler's in there. Now David Brookman, who ball goes forward towards Adalani. Flicked away. And Ajuja gets it away again. And this is a much more improved performance from Ilford, who look to be knocking it about a bit better, a bit more quality, a bit more refinement about their play in this game so far. In the second half so far on, there's a bit of afters over there. There's an altercation between their manager and the Ilford player, who flung himself to the floor after a coming together when the ball was going to be picked up for a throw-in, and it's all sort of kicking off over there, really, and their manager took a severe disliking to something from what we can see over in our position here, and threw himself to the floor, it seems, just as the ball was going to be collected for a throw-in. I'm not quite sure what happened, to be honest, as the ball is flicked away, and there's claims for a high boot there. It looked to have caught the Ilford man, as the ball is going to be tossed in to the box. Just under half an hour to go. Flicked on, Christou going up for it. More up than away, that clearance by Benfleet, as Adalani chased it down and wins the throw for Ilford. who will look to cause trouble again from a throw-in. The first goal came from a throw-in, remember, it's Opie Masuro. Looks like he's going to go for a long one this time into the middle, which he does, and it's flicked on and saved really well, and Hossack can't get an effort away, and Sylvester Ajuja's effort in is blocked. I think it was the flick on, I think it was Fred Ajimang who flicked it on. I couldn't quite tell who exactly it was. I think it was Ajimang who flicked it goalwards, and the keeper did really well to parry it away, and that's going to hold up in favour of the Benfleet number 9, and Blackburn is really quick off his line there to refute any pressure, and Freddie Ajimang put in a solid shift today, is going to be replaced by Larry Akanbi, who comes on as a sort of a direct replacement for Ajimang up front for Ilford, in the hope that he can fire the Foxes into round 1. As Akanbi goes up for it and flicked on. Akanbi again going up for it. Lewis Kerwan. It's a mistake by the defence. Dion Lewis Kerwan is in. Oh, he should have done better with that. It's really, really well saved by the goalkeeper. He got the wrong side of the defender, Lewis Kerwan, via the miscue, and found himself through. And the goalkeeper was equal to his efforts. That's the best chance he's had since that one in the first half, as the ball came out to Gerald Cobbler. Had a swing. And it came and found its way for an Ilford corner. Hossack got up. And Brookman's headed down. Couldn't be turned on target or goalwards. For the Foxes. As Alfie Walker comes on for his first appearance of the season. Gerald Cobbler, again, another player who's put in a really good shift today. A really, really good assist for the goal from Yemi Adelani. And Ilford see Alfie Walker come on for his first appearance of the season. And it's going to be another long throw into the box. All the big targets up there. Akambi and Sylvester Ajuja go up for it. Christou goes up for the first one and the second one, and it's taken down and flicked back goalwards by Adelani, and a really good block by the Benfleet defender there. And they seem to have turned themselves into trouble. It's come to Christou. Still Demi Christou put Walker under a bit of pressure there with the pass. And the ball is hacked away by Benfleet for an Ilford throw out over on that far side. It is last chance saloon now for Ilford. For either team to stop this tie from going to penalties, and it's headed forward and headed on. And might well be a chance. And he's through and he stabs it. Oh, he stabbed it just wide. What a chance. That was surely Ilford's final chance. I think it was Adelani who stabbed that one wide. Alfie Walker's free kick. And now Benfleet are stopped from going down the other end on the counter. And it is to be penalties here in this first qualifying round tie between Ilford and Benfleet. Benfleet are up first, and that's a good penalty by the Benfleet captain. Going low down the middle. And Josh Blackburn dives to his right. And it is the first penalty of the day for Ilford. Adelani steps up. He's bagged one in normal time. Scores in the shootout, confidently dispatched. Scored his penalty at home to Huddeston last weekend. Scored in the game against Southend Manor. Scored in normal time today. And in the penalty shootout to keep Ilford level. Josh Blackburn could make himself a hero. Any of these Ilford players could make themselves heroes today. As Benfleet step up to take their second. And it's saved! Josh Blackburn, with his legs, saves the Benfleet second penalty. And gives Demi Christou the chance to put Ilford 2-1 up in the shootout. Places the ball down confidently. Hands on hips. Short run up. Good outcome. Good penalty for Ilford. As they take a 2-1 lead in this penalty shootout thanks to Josh Blackburn saving the second Benfleet penalty, and he'll now face the third Benfleet penalty as the side from Canvey Island will look to get back on terms and make it 2-2 after their third penalty. Blackburn puffs out his chest, so does the Benfleet number 9. And Blackburn saved it again! Oh, this is incredible stuff! Josh Blackburn guessed right both times and saved 2 Benfleet penalties. Brilliantly saved by Josh Blackburn. And he's well on the way to making himself an Ilford hero with those 2 penalty saves. And it is Lewis Cowan who puts the ball down on the spot. He takes his run up and he's missed it. His effort is saved. And Ilford is a pretty poor penalty. You have to be honest here and say his effort was rather tame, rather easy for the goalkeeper. And now Josh Blackburn saved 2 penalties. If he can keep out this one, and Ilford score their next, they're through. Benfleet realistically have to score. Oh, and they do. Confident penalty there by the Benfleet man to power his penalty home and give them a lifeline in this competition. As Ilford send Sylvester Ajuja forward for his penalty kick, the 4th penalty kick for Ilford and the 8th penalty between the 2 sides. So, after 4 each here at Cricklefield, it's Ilford 3, Benfleet 2. That looked like it didn't creep in for a second as the keeper got a hand, so it couldn't keep it out. It hit the stanchion at the back of the net, then rebounded back at the inside of the post and stayed in. And for a second there, I thought it was Ilford's turn to miss 2 in a row. And now Benfleet again have to score to keep their FA Vase dream alive. They score. It's all on the next Ilford penalty taker, and that's a really good penalty. That is a really, really good penalty. And now, all the pressure of a penalty shootout, of the 5th penalty for Ilford, is on the shoulders of Larry Akanbi, the second half substitute. And if he notches now, Ilford are in the first round. Larry Akanbi. He does score and he's done it. And Ilford are in the first round proper of the FA Vase. Lewis Cowan, probably the most relieved man inside Cricklefield, who saw his penalty saved. But 2 brilliant penalty saves from Josh Blackburn.
As I always say, to start off with, there was 4 boys who didn't get on it, and I apologise because the game was tight. It would have been very, very difficult to make too many changes in that situation. And it could have gone either way on penalties. Unfortunately, it went our way. We have to take the positives from the second half. I thought we were better in the second half. I thought defensively we were more resolute in terms of solid. I thought for your first game, I thought you was excellent. only the young kid as well, but done the right things. And that's not discrediting the back four, that's just saying that, you know, someone's come into the team, never played in here and just taken on the instructions and done what we needed to do. Listen, also, well done Josh in the penalty shootout. You know. And as I always say, credit to the boys who went up and stepped up. You did it. Listen, sometimes I stand here and say, look, we got through. That's the reality. We still know where we are. We still know that we need to be better in areas, but we got through, and that is fucking the main thing. We're into the next round, and you know, as I said to you boys, we showed elements today of the tough side, but we also showed elements of the side we can be when we go forward. They're an organised side. Listen, you're going to come up against a lot of them types of sides, which is physical, playing behind, win their headers, win their volleys, up for it. So, listen, you took on a lot of the stuff we said, which is what we wanted. Not perfect, but definitely, you know, we competed better today. And listen, although they're a lower league side, they've not lost this season. You can see why, because they're quite organised and disciplined. So, you know, it was a tough game. There's no doubt about that. That's a tough game. So, as I always say, now you rest, and we've got to go Wednesday again, and we're playing the top of the league in our league, who ain't lost all season. It's going to be another battle here. We're going to need to work hard and make sure we show the same sort of fight and desire. But you know, we shouldn't. I don't want to go into the games having to bring you in early and talk about the basics of what we're expecting. Yeah, well, you know what we want. We want a hard-working, honest, resilient, physical team that can play as well. And we showed in the first half we stood up to that, and in the second half we showed the resilience of, you know, getting the ball down and trying to play. And you know, we had 2 great chances. Dion, a great chance. Yemi's had a great chance. Look, he didn't go in, but thankfully we're sitting there saying, you know what, the penalties went our way. So we had the chances. They didn't have an awful lot, which also showed where we were. But again, we just need to not come out of these basics that we're speaking about. Yeah, because that's the fundamental ethos that we've got about the first thing you've got to do when you walk onto that pitch is win your battle, show the desire and hunger to beat the opposition. Okay?
No, I thought he was fucking right on it. You know, you stepped up, you've done fucking everything that we asked of you in the changing room. The game plan, the execution, you fucking nailed it. Okay? Should have won the game in full time, if I'm being honest. Okay? But I thought we were right at it. And I thought we defended better. Okay? You sussed the game out, you've done everything we needed, and that's a credit. Really, well done. So, look, listen, let's get all the kit ready, and let's go upstairs and have a drink.
Right, Adam, starting off with, what was your thoughts when we went into the penalties?
Penalties a lot, isn't it? Listen, don't matter. It's luck on the day. Does the keeper go the right way? Fortunately for us, Josh got to 2. Their goalkeeper got to 1, and in the end, listen, it's never a nice way to go. Win or go out. When you're on the winning end, you're happy. When you go out on it, you feel bad. But listen, we got through, and that's the main thing.
Cool. So the first half and second half, obviously, we've seen 2 very different Ilford teams. What was said at half time to bring in that response?
I think it took us too long to get into the game. I thought from about 35 minutes we started to get our foot on the ball and get the ball to the front men, and we know we've got pace, and we started to create. And I said to the boys at half time, you know, the way we're going to get in is down the outside. They played a diamond system, which meant, you know, we had the opportunities to overlap and get some free opportunities out in the wide areas. So we exploited that. You know, we got Dion high, we got Yemi high, and there was a bit more balls in behind, and we moved the ball rather than playing the ball down the 2 centre halves' throat. We sort of moved it through midfield and then hit the front men's feet, and we seemed to get a bit more joy. And I think we really, it was more. I don't think we were terrible in the first half. I just don't think we got out of sort of first or second gear. But you know, I asked for a better defensive performance. I thought we got that today. So yeah, I mean, you know, the boys know that the first half was probably just okay, and we took too long to get into it. But fair play to them, they came in the first half an hour and imposed themselves on the game, made it difficult for us. Their system in there was very difficult to manage when they started getting their rotations. But after half an hour, we sort of understood what we needed to do, and then we spoke about half time to how we could counteract it.
Okay, prior to the game we spoke about the inconsistencies we've seen in recent weeks.
Yeah.
How important do you think this result can be now to start to find a steady consistency?
I would like to win it in normal time because, you know, I see it as a draw. I'm quite old-fashioned like that, but The fact is we didn't go out and we went through, so that is a positive. You know, the boys you know, enjoy it. So yes, if we'd lost, even if we lost on penalties, it would have hurt us. Hopefully this will give us some confidence going into the league, but it doesn't get any easier on Wednesday because we play Cockfosters who are top and ain't lost a game. So we're going to have to be a lot better on Wednesday than we were today.